topics in that one, so that we would cover the things which we were not able to cover yesterday. So here, as usual, let's go here. And if you see here, I think we covered most of the things. Today we will see how we can apply this one on a cloud pages. Like how do we create, for example, some web pages like that. So let me take this page. Just I have written this one, so you can just see this one. So here why I wanted to explain this one is it's the same concept. Whatever we were discussing is the same concept again and again. But the thing is here, this one you have to see how this one behaves according to our requirement. So this one, it's just a HTML page. Suppose if you're a web developer, it would be highly easy for you. And also, web developers, very few web developers can become a marketing cloud consultant. So that gap is still there. So when you have a chance to work with your web team, so you can just you should be knowing, like as I said, you should be knowing AMP script and all those stuff, so that you can help them to build things for you. So this is a small example, but in this example I personally used hell a lot of times, because when I take this to a UI developer, using this he can build a lot of things. So how this one works is, this is simple code. Here we are trying to register something, like for example, so this would be the form where you're entering the name, email, phone, and the country. So once you enter it, so this would be the form. So once you submit it, what happens is, this one, it would redirect to a different page, and as soon as you get submitted, you're going to pass the text here. Once this is true, it's going to insert the data. It's a straight thing what we are trying to do here. So let us see how this works. So here I know you know what this request parameter does. So this request parameter, it is something which pulls data from the URL. So this one, what this function would do is, as soon as you submit it, it would throw all the data whatever you entered, the name, email, phone, and the country. It would throw into the URL. And when it throws into the URL, from URL, this one, the SAM script catches everything. That means once the page gets refreshed, it catches. Whenever it first catches the submit button, if that is true, then it catches the name, email, phone, and the country, and it puts into this one, and it gets inserted. So that is how it works. So let us see how this one works is, if you go here, just create some landing page. So when you go to this page, here you can just copy paste this code. So maybe what we can do is, and here's here. Yeah, so maybe you can do it even in a better way. So once this is done, you publish it. So this is the page. You can see how it works in the mobile and all those, and you can publish it immediately. So let's see how this works. So if you have some closer look, it is inserting the data into this demo BH. So when you're dealing with these operations, like as I said, make sure that our external key is matching with our name. In our org, sometimes it is working, sometimes it doesn't work. It behaves a bit weird, but ideally, this external key updating is somewhere you have to be careful when you're dealing with your real-time. Or so even if it is not working, you should raise a case and make sure that it's getting updated properly. See here, yesterday we updated it. For some reason it got updated, this external key got updated. This both should be same, because when you're doing a lot of applications, for example, if you're dealing with SSJS, or sometimes in AMP script applications, what happens is sometimes you have to give external key and sometimes you have to give the name. But the problem is, if it both are same, then your application will not fail. So make sure that we have both the same. So currently here I have given the name here, but even if it takes external key also, it is fine, no problem for me. And UUID I have given the same, and we have given all the information. Now let's see how this works. So here is your name, number, just submitted it. So once I submitted it, it it shows thank you, because in URL you don't see anywhere the parameters, it just gives a thank you message. So here anywhere the thank you message is something which we have given here itself. So whenever if it is submitted, it should display this one. So we have given this as it is. So here everything happens on the same page itself. But now when you go and see here, and I have one more record got updated. So here have one more, a new thing got created. And suppose if you wanted to update this one, you can do same operation, that is update data, and do it here itself. As it's not case sensitive, so it should be fine. You don't give anything. Yeah, the problem is maybe 1 second, let me see what was the problem. We have to give parameter here. When we are dealing with this one, you have to give one more parameter, so that is missing. So here we are updating the field. So let me see what is the problem. We will see this one, because we have to anyway discuss this part. So this is how it works. Maybe if you are inserting the data, this is how it takes. Then continuation to this one. So if you want to do any operation, you can do it like this. Maybe I have certain scripts here, we can run some scripts. For example, if you are inserting the data, we insert the same, or else suppose we are updating the data. Let's see how we can update this one currently. Let me update this with the same data extension here. So this is the phone number. Let's see what is the problem here. Let's set these things. Let's take subscriber key. Maybe this one will take it. the status. There's a problem because from yesterday I'm seeing this is not getting updated for some reason. So that's the reason I'm trying to do from outside. Yeah, it shows the row is updated. So yes, it got updated. Somewhere we have to tweak the code. We can just add the same code here. So whatever we have added here, whatever we have updated here, maybe we can just tweak it to this code, maybe this code here, so that it works accordingly. So this is how we can update. We can insert it, we can update it, and also like whatever if you want to delete it, we can also delete this data. So we can do it through the form. So this is how we can integrate this form. This piece of code is highly important because you might be using in several places. It would be helpful for you in a lot of other places. So this is one thing. And also this HTTP things also, this is how the syntax works is. So it also has this HTTP post and HTTP get. Maybe this I would leave it to you. Maybe you can try working, because from my network this doesn't work because my network has been whitelisted for some reason, so it is not working. Maybe you can give a try. What you can do is in this payload you can give your client ID and client secret, and you can give the request token API and try to execute it, and let's see what response you get. So here this is how this works. So you have to give your endpoint and what type of this application or JSON you have to give, and you have to give the payload. The payload you can construct it however you wanted to, and the response whatever you get you have to put it here. So this is how one kind of HTTP post works, and so this gives the response. Maybe this you can try. If it doesn't work, maybe I'll try it later and I can explain it to you. And also there is one more kind of HTTP post. So this also has a little bit of more parameters. You can also give like this. That is, you can give a endpoint. So once you get the access token here, you can paste the access token here, and you can try to hit one more like the SOAP API. You will get like the same like payload you're going to give. Like if you try to hit a journey, or maybe you're trying to do a trigger send, you know how to do that. Maybe in last sessions if you see, we have done a lot of operations through Postman. So using those things, you can just put a payload, you can hit, and you can try to get a response here. Maybe this sometimes because I don't know like how many things are supported here, because sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But you can try this one. Either you can try on a cloud page, or maybe on an email it works. So this works on both the email and cloud page. Maybe you can just give a try. um, so one more thing what I wanted to explain to you is, if you see here, maybe this adding, it's adding and updating is the same. And one more thing is this GUID. I just want to explain you what is this GUID. Suppose you are trying to insert the data. For example, if you are trying to insert the data here, let us see this itself. So if you see this code, what we have done is we were trying to put this code here. We were trying to insert something. We are trying to we are giving a subscriber key here. Ideally in our real-time applications, when you are doing this, you always will not be able to give a subscriber key. You cannot go and edit the text, and you cannot give the subscriber key. So something you need it in the backend which gives this code. So for these kind of applications, what I have seen is a lot of people, they will make email as a subscriber key. A major mistake I have seen, because if I ask them why you're trying to do like that, they say that no, we cannot put any subscriber key. They cannot hard code all the time. So that's the reason they will give a email as a subscriber key, but that's not right. So what you can do is you can give this one, that is GUID. So GUID is nothing but it's a 36 character code it generates. So it this automatically generates some key. Maybe let's see if this works here. So I'll put it over here, and now maybe we are not hard coding the thing. So see here, you have some code here. So this is how you can uniquely generate some subscriber key. You can generate it, and once you can generate it like this, you can capture the data. And suppose still if you wanted to have this data refinement, maybe using some techniques, maybe whether you extract it and try to add replace this one, or maybe hash this one, or maybe you can use several other techniques based on your company, or you can give everything to some other systems, like maybe some third party system you can give, and you can ask them to create this as some unique key. You can do whatever you want, but the only way how you can generate some random key is like this, using this GUID. So GUID is, like as I said, it's a 36 digit code. So this maybe they will ask you in an interview, like how do you, can you write a insert function? Like if they ask you to write an insert function, you will write insert function, but it's not the best practice that you always hard code this one, right? Or else you cannot ask user to give that data. And also marketing cloud doesn't support auto number feature like as in Salesforce. So for that reason you would use this one. I felt this is important, so I just explained to you. So this is one. And one more is, yeah, before we go to SSJS, I don't think there is much in ham script. There is one thing which I can, there is one more thing which I can explain it to you when I discuss about SSJS. So one more real-time example maybe I can give, that is a trigger send, like how to send a trigger send, same like in the form. So when you just insert a data and when you click, it should go as an email. So that trigger send, maybe I can explain it to you. Maybe that's important because there would be a lot of times you will get this requirements, like there would be a form like this, you have to just fill the form. So whenever you submit a form, a person should receive an email with all the information in that one. So that requirement might come to you in your real time. So I can I just have it, I have written it once, maybe I can explain it to you. Let me see if I could do that. So for that one, I just need to create a data extension. So yeah, this is the code. So what this code does is, whatever we have seen here, whatever we are seeing here is something which we already learned. So we already worked on all these things. So this one, this first name, last name, everything we have done it. So it would be helpful for you just to know how to execute these kind of things. So here, you know what these things are. And yeah, for this, maybe I might need one data extension with subscriber key and first name and last name. So this, like when you're building a trigger send, you should come with the template here. So here you come here, take a trigger send. Okay, so I have added this. Now we might need to have one trigger send. Either we reuse some existing, or maybe we create one trigger send here. Everything is in running state. So before we do that, we might need to have some sample email template. So let's create some email. So here if you're doing directly, maybe you can give like this, or maybe you can put attribute value and you can as it and you can give. So this is a straight way how we can give. So I have just given this information, and as we know we have to give this. Yes, small testing here. We don't have a data. Okay, it's fine. Okay, so we have built this one. So this should be fine. Now let's go to some triggers and let me see if I could reuse this. Yeah, these it's we have to stop this first. Certain sometimes this really behaves weird. So let's create one quickly. So we have this one. Now let us go to the concept here. So here what I'm trying to do is the same. From the URL it pulls the email, first name and the last name. And also how we have to do is as we discussed here, when you see this, we are here we will be doing the trigger send. So come here down, there is a trigger send here. So here we have a trigger send definition. So we have to use this trigger send definition. So this trigger send definition, these two things are necessary. So you can ask me like why shouldn't I take all other things? These are all other things marketing cloud keeps adding it, so we cannot keep track of all these things. So once when I used to learn, there were much here, like it was very less, there were very few was there. So now there are a lot of things based on requirements. Every release comes in, that release people they keep adding it, so it's very difficult to learn all the things. But whatever is necessary, whatever I told you in the session, that should be enough. Maybe if you see this trigger send and this trigger send definition, so these two things are more than enough to send a trigger email. So now as we said, first we have to instantiate this one. So first let's instantiate this, and next let's instantiate this. And next thing is the email address. He has taken a subscriber key as an email address here, but what I can do is maybe I can, yeah, let it be for now. So here I'm just taking a subscriber key also as an email ID, or maybe I can use GUID also, but let it be here. So then the next thing is, first you have to set an external key. So this is the customer key. Let's take a key. What is a key here? You can just go here, take a key here. So here this is done. So now you have initialized it, you have set a property, and next is the object you have to take. So subscriber, you're taking it, and the email address, you're assigning the email address, which is really good. And the next thing is subscriber key also I'm taking as an email address. So when I take all these things, I have to create as an array. And also one more thing is, when we are dealing, suppose if you know the attributes, we can give the attributes, but if you don't know the attributes, then we have to give it like this. So currently what I'm trying to do is, like, first of all, maybe I would give some random value here, and next I would give a email ID, the name, the last name. So all these things you're going to put everything in an array, and then when you put everything, then you're going to invoke it. So this is how you just do a web call to invoke it. So in this one, you have all the instances. The first instance is for this trigger send, and the second is the status message and the error code. So we just have done this, and now we are trying to execute this. Let's see if it works or not. Let me go to Web Studio. So technically this is how the implementation is. Maybe I might need to make some minor changes of due to some updates or something. If it works, let it work. If it doesn't work, maybe I'll fix this code and maybe I will send it to you. Okay, so it went, and let me see. Yeah, it came. So it's in a queued state. So the email would go. So this is about a simple trigger send. This could be a simple one, but the thing is, it's highly important, right? Multiple times people will ask you, like, can you please send an email while submitting a form. Like when you submit a form, definitely a person should, you have to send him an email. So at that point of time, you can use the same logic here. You can add multiple fields if you want, and if you can build a beautiful template, and you can make a beautiful website however you want it to, or maybe you can embed this code into existing website. So once you click that, this automatically this triggers and would go. So what I would recommend is, like, if you want to test this, if you people are really want to test it, try to run your trigger sense on your already created trigger sense only, because again, if you create multiple things here, it becomes more, we cannot delete this, as I said. So you have to, let us, you guys, please use your own trigger sense, and you try to hit it from here. You can just change, you have to just change the field names, and only thing is you just have to change the customer key here, then rest everything is the same. So here, when you are declaring these attributes, right, when you know the attribute, you would put an attribute, but if you don't know the attribute, so every attribute will have a name and a value. So for example, name is the email address, and the value you're going to put it here. First name is the name, is the first name, value you're going to put it from the URL, last name is here, and this one you're going to put it. And this one you have to, this, how it works is, you have to put your this, what do you call it as, MID. So you have to put a MID here. In our case, we are executing in the same org, so it is fine. But if you're executing from a different org in a different business unit, then maybe you have to give a proper um, MID here. Sometimes it takes, sometimes it doesn't take. So as of now, this is not a main concern. So if you have all these fields, it should be fine. So if I check my, so I got an email and see all the information, the last name and all this, the information I got it. So this is about the trigger send. Maybe I can send this code, maybe we can reuse the same code. So this is about the AMP script. So I think we have covered almost everything in the AMP script, like what are all the important things, like especially updating these data extensions, these form submissions and this unsubscriptions is something which is highly critical, which you people will be facing as soon as you go to the company. So make sure that you people go through these things and practice a little bit more, and you can easily do it. Only thing is you should know the differences, like which one to use it in a cloud page and which one to use it in a email template. So all the email in the email template, basically you will be using all these minor things like content by id, this attribute value and the displaying all these things. So whatever we have discussed, only those things will come. So when I try to explain it in a real-time org, I'll show you like how companies are using it, so how they are using it. So if before closing this, if you wanted to speak about the best practices, so when we discuss about the best practices, if you see this, always this AMP script, whatever the AMP script you take, always this AMP script should be above the code. So you just need to put a different code for this and you can keep it one way. Or what you can do is you can put all these AMP scripts, like if you are using multiple times, if you are using the same AMP script again and again for some reason, so in that case what you can do is you can create it in, you can put all the AMP script in one block. Maybe you can create one content block here, like how we discussed here. You can come here, you go to content blocks, you create some code snippet. So here you put all the things, this entire code you can put it here. You can just put this thing and you can save it. So once you put all these things, and when you wanted to refer it in any code, so what you can do is you can just put a content block by id, like we have discussed last time. Just you have to put this content block by id, ampersand is equals to content block by id, like this. So this one will have some id, so you take that id, some id, you will get it, some number you get it, like some number you will get it here, is equals to ampersand. So this one, instead of all this code, you can just add this one simple code there and you can start coding it. That's it. So this one will bring all the code, like what all you have, it brings here. So instead of duplicating it, you can do it like this. That is one way. And second thing is, when you are trying to declare it, make sure that if you are doing some different functionalities, some multiple functionalities, try to put it in this blocks and make sure these blocks are highly simplified. Like it should be highly simple, that please don't write a code like too many lines of code. Make sure that what you can do is you can take this block, put all these variables in one block. Like for example, if you want to declare this, for example, where, for example, abc comma cde comma blah blah blah, you can put all these things into one block, put everything into one block, and all the setters setting this one, you can put it into one block. Not a problem, you can access from one block to another block until unless it has been overridden. So you can put everything, and normal functionalities you can put it in one block. So it would be it is easy for you to debug, because it's not a compiler language where you can see like which line you got the error. So this is so you have to follow that kind of best practices where you can make it into different blocks and easily understandable. So every block you have to give a proper comments, like this, a comment section, so that you will understand like what you have done. And apart from all these things, one more thing is, yes, the attribute value. You have to use the attribute value instead of braces, like yesterday I was discussing with Ankan. So you always have to put attribute value as a best practice, because for the speed, and there are some reasons which nowhere it is documented, they say it's a best practices and we are following it. That's it. So this is about the major best practices. and when they ask you the questions, you can, in interview, you can clearly explain them like how you have done it. So what is the use of AMP what and all the real-time scenarios you have used for trigger send, or maybe you have used for updating normal data extensions, or maybe for unsubscriptions, master or list. You can explain to them. So you can just practice these things and you can tell it in interview. That is more than enough. And next thing is, um, let us go to SSJS. So if we discuss about SSJS, so SSJS, I won't stress much on this because this is a failure technology in marketing cloud. Because once when they when exact target when Salesforce bought exact target, SSJS was not that powerful. It was like a minor language, and AMP was not that powerful. AMP had a very least methods like this: lookup rows, create certain things. So those were the minor things which was being able to do. At that point of time, they implemented this, they gave this SSJS, and this SSJS had a lot of functionalities to do. Now there is no difference between SSJS and AMP. What I personally suggest is, when you have a freedom to develop the things, make sure that you develop everything through AMP only, because that is the easiest. Like AMP is the lightest and the easiest way how you can do it. But if you take SSJS, that is also a bit flexible, but it is not um, so easy to develop. It's, you have to be a web developer to do it. AMP once you learn, you can implement it. SSJ is something you need to have some web knowledge. So if you are very good at web, then please go with SSJS. If you are new to marketing cloud and if you really feel that AMP is easy, I would say please do everything in the AMP. So now in SSJS, I would just show you the way how you have to code the things, and using those things you can do the same. Whatever we did it in AMP, you can also do the same thing in SSJS. But most importantly, I'll tell you how to execute the things, so how this SSJS works. So that is important, I would feel. So if you see here, let me take some examples. I have written some examples here. mm, yeah, maybe this. So if you see, SSJS means it's a server-side JavaScript. There are two things. One is client-side JavaScript and server-side JavaScript. The server-side JavaScript, basically Marketing Cloud is a cloud server, so that's the reason they have implemented it. And here it has same methods. Earlier, when this SSJS, when we started learning, at that point of time, there were very few functionalities. Either they used to give most of the things were either we used to do on lists, and also on the data extensions and few HTTPs. Now I see there are like hundreds of methods, but once if you know how to use these methods, it's highly easy to implement. But you just need to know the differences, minor differences. So I will be able to explain it to you. So once you learn one method, you'll be able to do all the methods. So this is the normal SSJS script, which you can put in a HTML and you can use it, or maybe you can put it in the cloud page and you can use it. So this platform.load is a library. These are called as core libraries, which is given by SSJS, and it also has versions 1.1, 1.1.1. So these versions, if you do a deep analysis and a high level, very deep into this subject, then only you will get to know like what these methods, what these versions are. But for us, most of the things, if you use 1.1 or any latest version, that should be fine. So 1.1 is something which is here. On top of this, we have a lot of one, like 1.1.1, 1.1.3, 4, a lot of things. But I usually use this. Using this one, you can achieve anything. So here you just use this, and after this there is nothing. Whatever you're going to do, it's the same. This also has certain things. First one is instantiation. Second one is initialization. Execution. There are only these things. So first thing is instantiation, like the same like how we did it in AMP. First of all, you have to instantiate it. Once you instantiate it, then it is ready to be used. Then you initialize it. How you initialize? Either here I did everything in a one line, but you can make it in a different ways. But here, as a developer, you can just you like this. I'll tell you like what this means. And next thing is execution. So whatever the method is there that executes. Fourth thing is display. That's it. You just initialize anything. You just take an instantiation of that particular object, you initialize it, execute it, whatever you are getting it, take it. Execution is always, there will be three common things. Either you create, add, retrieve, update, delete. That's it. So these are the common things. For certain things you won't have create, for certain things you don't have delete, for certain things you don't have update. But these are the common things which is highly been here. Either you can create, for example, if you take a data extension, either you create a data extension, or you're going to add data to it, or add fields to it, or retrieve all the field information, or maybe update the records to it, or maybe delete the fields, or maybe delete the data extension. So it all depends like on what object you'll be doing it. So if you know these minor things, then SSJS is nothing. So let us come to this example. So here what I'm trying to do is, here as we said, I'm instantiating it. How do you instantiate? It's like same how we do it in Java or something like this. Like as I said in the AMP script, for example, object obj is equals to new object. So this we do everywhere, like even in Salesforce we do, in Java we do, we just instantiate the same way. So what it does is this data extension dot init. So here, most importantly, in AMP script, sometimes this takes the external key, sometimes it takes name. This is highly difficult to define. So that's the reason I told please put it as both the same so that your system will not be confused. But according to AMP theory, it accepts name. But in SSJS theory, they confirm that it should be ID. It should be definitely external ID here, not a name. If you put a name, it will not accept. So once you put an ID here, external key, I would say, external key or external ID, this get instantiated. Once you get an instance, you put an instance here. Then what you have to do on this one, you have to do operation on the fields. On fields, what you have to do, either you have to add, update, retrieve. You can use this. So currently I'm doing this small operation. So I just took an instance of this on the fields. I am retrieving it and I'm displaying it. That's it. So this is what I'll be doing. So here what this one will do is, this one will pull all the field information. Field information means if you create a field, every field will, there will be a lot of things happening behind that. Maybe the size, whether it is required or not required, or what is the type, data type. So there are a lot of things which we haven't seen till now through our naked eye. Let's see like how this works here. What I'll be doing is just pasted this, done. So one advantage is SSJS, you get all the result here itself. So here I will just publish it so that you will see it on the page. If you are very good at HTML, maybe you can use this particular thing, you stingify it and you can display in a table or do whatever you want. So here, once if you display this, if you see here, um, this one row updated is the text, some text what we have used here. So here it's a text, so you can ignore this, maybe it's my mistake. So you just concentrate on the fields. So here what it is, this it has name, it has a phone, and also it gives the key behind it, what is the field type, whether it's primary or not, it's false, the length of it, some default value it takes, the storage. So there is a lot of things here. Again, you take a country, it has a backend object ID and all, it has a lot of information, the maximum length and whatever it is the primary key or not. And again, this is one more, here, and there is one more here. So here it took all the information out. So every field has some ID behind it. And also because these IDs are, this one it would be important when you're trying to do some minor operations on record level. And yeah, this is about the information. So here you don't need to think about all these things. I just wanted to make you sure that it this is how this SSJS works. And let us go to this SSJS documentation. So here in this SSJS, like it has a core library functions, and we wanted to, for us, we are highly concerned about these things, especially this data extension function. So these are the things which is important for us. So whatever we can do is either we add it. So here what we are trying to do is, here we are trying to create a new data extension, and here you're trying to create a sendable data extension, or maybe you're going to create a sendable and testable data extension. All are same, nothing. If you see these things, it's everything is the same. So here you just paste here and you just see how it works. So here what he is trying to do is, he is taking a payload here. In this payload, this is the customer key with this demo de, just put like this, and this is the name of the data extension, and it has a fields. For example, name, this is the field one, and field type you have to give whether it's number or not. This is it a primary key, yes it is true, and length or null, so everything. So this you're going to give it, and what he is doing is, we haven't created anything yet, so we just took a data extension, you're going to add it, and that's it. If you want to display this, try to display this. Let's see what is this is. Let's see what happened here. The thing is, if you come to this data extension, maybe somewhere it already got created, somewhere it should have been created. The thing is, this demo, my demo, yeah, so it got created. So if you see here, if you open it, it has all this a field, the number, the primary key or something. So like some of you are asking me the questions like, why do you want to use this, why I will be using it. For example, sometimes I used to get a requirement like I have to create like 6 or 7 data extensions with a hell of a lot of fields. So what I will do is, so when you are highly lazy, like what I will do is, I will take an Excel sheet like this maybe. What I used to do is, I'll just take Excel sheet and I would put like all these things. They would give me list of fields here. So hell a lot of list. So list of fields. So I will put all these things into one field like this, and I all these things. I mean, it is again depends. Put everything here. I used to do it, and the list of the fields what they have given, I used to add it here, concatenate everything, put in the form of this. Just one refresh. That's it. You have all the fields in your system. And also you can, if you have to do more analysis on this one, nowadays there is hell a lot of blogs you can read. You can create a folder. See, there is a folder functions. You can go and you can initialize the create, you can initialize it, you can create a folder. In that folder you can create a data extension. So all these things you can do. So either you have to, so here this is again a small example for creating a sendable data extension. The same fields they have given it, and here they are going to give some sendable info. And this one again sendable and is testable is equals to true. So they haven't given the same. So you can play around, you can use the same things. And also there are certain things that is like field dot add, like as I said, they're going to add the fields here. And also this is field dot retrieve, you get all this field information. And update sendable field, if you want to update the sendable field, yes, you can update it. And also retrieve. And also if you see here, the rows are again, it is related to the data again. So here you can just, you can add the data, birthday dot rows dot add. So here you're going to add the data. So this is how it works. And let me take some example here. This is a small example. So here what I'm trying to do is, maybe let's park this side. Here what I'm trying to do is, I'm just taking the data extension and I'm just trying to add a field to it. So I just need to add a field to it. So this is the thing what I want to do. So now let me go to some data extension, not this, maybe some data extension. I'll take the same one. As I said, you have to take external key. First you initialize it, that's it. And you have to create a payload. Have UID, name, email, okay, you have everything. So once the payload is ready, you're going to put this payload here. DE something initialized, rows, that is what you're going to do, and you're going to add it. If you want to delete it, you can delete it. You want to add it, you can add it. So here we are adding it, so that's the reason we are giving this one, we are taking this dynamically. So this one would display us the row count, how many rows it's been added here. So here itself the results would come. When you publish it, it tries to create it again. So it's already created, so it's when it tries to create again, the error is thrown, because we haven't used any functions here. So here it is fine, but last time, why we saw this error is because we already created a data extension with some name and external key. So when you try to create it again, it was throwing an error. So that's the reason we got this error, and but still the data extension got created. So here if I refresh this, you see here there are two records. One created when I was, yeah, one when I was refreshing it, other got created when I published it. So two records got created since I used this GUID. So this one, it created different things, multiple things. So that is how it happened. And if you wanted to update this, so here I'm trying to update this. What I can do is, I will just, maybe I'll try to update this one. So here, this, yeah. Here, why I'm trying to explain this one is, here you have a payload, that is the name and the country. So how you are going to update this one is, mm, I'm going to take this one, take this payload here, and UID is this, email is this, and you also have this. So see, this one I can put here also. I don't have a problem here. So if you have multiple payloads, you can put it like this: payload 1, payload 2, whatever it is, you have to put with a named value. Name is this, country is this, and something else is something. You can put payload 1, payload 2, payload 3, how many payloads you want, you can put it. But everything, either you can put it like this, the named value, like this should be the name, this should be the value. You can take like this, and that's it. You just execute it. So as I said, please don't get confused. I can put this one down, but why I am trying to do this is just for your explanation sake. Reason it did not get updated. Let me see why it did not get updated. This is UUID. some reason it did not get updated. Maybe I can, let me try one more way. Let's see this later, not a problem. Maybe I would give you a proper code which it gets updated. So this is about this one. And also if you see here, see here, this is even more, it's properly, it's given here. So how to update a row here, what you can do is either you can put the payroll here, or I mean this payload here, or maybe you can directly assign. What he has done is the same. So here, if you see this one, just a payload, you can just take this payload like this, named value. So what he has taken is he has assigned this value to this, the name, and this one. And here, see, we just put in a payload and we have added here, or you can just add directly. You can do however you wanted to. So this is about updating. And also one more thing is this list functions. So this list functions you might need to know. So this is also the same. Again, you just need to here say everything they did it in one thing. So they took a customer key, the list, and the name of the list, the description if you wanted to, and you can just add it. So this is it is again the list operations here. If you want to remove it, you can remove. And again the subscriber operations, like if you wanted to add the subscriber, or maybe if you wanted to update the subscriber. So these are the things. You just need to initialize the things, and just you have to assign the things. You have to put it into a function and you have to assign it. It's the same. Either if you have to retrieve it, you can retrieve it. It's all up to you. And one more thing is, most importantly, what I have seen is mostly when you are dealing with these applications, mostly what you will, what problem you face is sometimes you have a what happens is sometimes you have a lot of AMP script and there is a SSJS also. Here I personally felt this problem because when we are dealing with developers, when I see there is already something which was developed, so that means that there is already a developed code which is in SSJS, and I have a value in AMP script. So here, how to communicate AMP script with SSJS and SSJS to AMP script? So that is a little bit challenging here. So that is highly important, I would say. So for example, let me take an example. If you see, I just took an example here. This one, what I'm trying to do is, you have AMP script here, you have a completely AMP script block, and you have AMP script block here, and you have to pass this AMP script value into SSJS. This is highly important. So how do you do this? um, it's like pretty straightforward. You just use this one, variable dot get value. If you could use this, whatever you're there in AMP script would come into SSJS and you can display it. If you see here, running at server, this is running at client. So when this is completely asynchronous, so this is on a client side, this is on a server side, but still if you want to display the value from AMP script to this one, you just need to see here. You can see here, see here, you can see the response here itself. So it is displaying in SSJS, and also other way around. This could be highly silly, but it's highly important. So here you are trying to display the variable here. So you did a lot of functionalities here. Maybe you assigned this one, and if you wanted to display the SSJS value in an AMP script, so then what you can do is, it's the same way, variable dot set value, that is variable dot get value, and this is variable dot set value. When you set this value, you're going to set it to AMP script, and this one you can easily display it here. That's it. It got displayed. So this is about SSJS functionalities, and also there are some minor functionalities on this SSJS. So those things, maybe I can send you the code, maybe you can execute yourself. So those things, maybe you can just practice yourself. But I would say that if you learn AMP script end to end, that is more than enough. So this should be fine. Yeah, this is about the AMP script and SSJS. If you could learn this, this should be more than enough. So do you have any questions on this one? Okay. So, and one more thing is, I would like to explain a little bit of administration, like how do you uh, deal with the administration? Like for example, how to create a user. So when you join a company, so how to create a user, how to deactivate a user, how to assign permissions to him. So that I will be explained to you. One second. Login into different. Yeah. So here in Marketing Cloud is the main problem here is it's not like a Salesforce, but it is a little bit different, because in Salesforce you can give a lot of permissions. Like you can give a permissions on a record level, on an object level, on a field level. So you can do anything in a Salesforce. But in Marketing Cloud it's not like that. So because the environment itself is highly difficult. So what you can do is either you can show the studios, or maybe you can lock the studios. So if I wanted to remove access for this web studio, what I can do is I cannot hide this, but I can lock this. You can see like maybe some lock option appears. So currently nothing is being locked. All the things for everything, the permission is given here. So and one more thing is there is something called as my apps. So this one you can create it in the apps. So this one, you can personalize it, like whatever you wanted to see you can give it, or whatever you wanted to show you can see. So this is how it is, the first thing. The second thing is, basically when you go to a company, when you join there, and how you have to see the users and how you have to maintain the permissions is like this. If you go here, there is something called as roles users, roles, and business units. But when you click the business units, and you can see like multiple business units. For example, here I have access only to two business units, but if there could be a lot of other business units also. And for example, if my company says that no, you can, if my company says yes, we have purchased one more business unit, can you add a business unit? Yes, I can go here, I can create it. So here I can give the name of the business unit, the time zone, and I can see there are like other business units here, but I don't have access to this. So I can give all the company information, and here subscribers from all business units in the enterprises. So it depends whether I can see all the subscribers, or whether I have to see the subscribers concerned to that business unit only. So based on that you can enable this. Suppose if you wanted to create a business unit where the customers, you are maintaining them very secretly, so if that's the case, then you can put this one, or maybe you can use this. So if you enable this, you see all the subscribers, like the subscribers who is dealing in other business unit also you can see if you have a hierarchy. So this is how you create a business unit. Again, this one, suppose without knowing you created a business unit. So what happens is, when you create a business unit, you don't know whether you can create it or not. So you create a business unit. Immediately after some time you get a bill saying them that you have created a new business unit, which is again $350 per month, please pay. So you get the bill. So make sure that, or else in some business units, while creating itself, administrator will send an email for the person who sent on contract. They'll say that a new business unit would be created, new business unit is created, can we charge? So that you would get an information like that. So it all depends. So this is how it is. If you don't want a business unit, you can delete the business unit. And also if you want to see the users of the business unit, you can just go click the users, and you can see all the users over here. So there are a lot of people here. So this is how this this business unit works here. And also here is see, this is a parent business unit and this is a child business unit. So here as I said, when I speak about the Salesforce connectivity, I'll explain to you what do you mean by what is the hierarchical structure, how to structure a business unit. So here we have this one and you will get a parent here. So this is the parent business unit. So this is how it works. And one more thing is I also can import this business unit. That means import in the sense like, see here, what I can do is I can import other business units. Like for example, there is another business unit which has all the information and I can browse it and I can get all the information here. So see, I can prepare a file like this and I can get all the users from other business units. So it's like this. It is pretty straightforward. You can give it, you can add, and you can extract it. So this is one way of, this is how you deal with the business units. And next, coming to the users. So here, before we go to users, let us see roles. So if you see in Marketing Cloud, there are, so if you see in Salesforce, there is also roles and there is a permission sets. So roles, you know how this roles works. So it is like a hierarchical structure, how you wanted to assign. So you create a role, and for that you are going to on top of it, if you wanted to give. So if you see in Salesforce, there's profiles, there is roles, there is permission sets, and there is a sharing. So it's all hierarchical. So in profiles, you give all the access, and if you wanted to, and I mean, if you wanted to, if you don't want to give any access, you remove all the access in profiles, and if you want to give more accesses, you create some roles. If you want to give more access, you create a permission set. It's like every access is like opening the doors for the persons. So that is how it's in Salesforce. But in Marketing Cloud, it's not like that. It is like there is always either you create, view, and update. There are three things which is like this. So if you see here, you can create a role, you can create roles. Maybe when you go to a company, already Salesforce people will create you the roles like this. There is a lot of roles here. So each and everything will have the permission. So for example, if I see this, and also you can see the users, and also if I see this role, let me see, if you want, you can create it, or maybe you can go and click and clicks, you can see the assignments to who and all it is been assigned. So here, if you open it, there is a lot of things here. So this is pretty straightforward. You don't need to put more brain on this one. It's like pretty straight. So here what happens is, in these roles, what they have given is they have blocked this audience builder, but when you open it, here there are a lot of other things. For general, it is access, admin, config, create, or maybe if you see a little bit down, maybe let's go to email studio. If you see here, the content is there, and here what they have blocked is they have blocked the admin permissions they have blocked here. So that means if they deny this, you won't be able to see admin. And also in this one, there are other things, whether it's a API access, and there is another access here, send management is there. So sender profiles, create, view, update, delete access. For delivery profile, there is access. For send classification, there is access. So for everything, there is an access. Either you create, view, update, or delete. So you can deny this, or maybe you can give this option. So this is how it is. And also the integrations, like how this needs to be, whether you can this is for Salesforce integration, whether you can communicate with Salesforce, whether you can do a Salesforce sends, because through Marketing Cloud you can send emails from Salesforce, and from Salesforce you can send email from Marketing Cloud. So that one for communication. And also this A to B testing. And if you see, if you go a little bit, the journey builder, and for journey builder you have certain operations, and for automation you have either create or edit. Sales and service cloud, you have certain things, so these are blocked here in this. And maybe if you go to contact builder, so the contact model, you can see all contacts or delete or access. And also if you come and see here, email send wizard, sometimes we can, some people they block access to send an emails also. So if you want to block it, you can block it. So these things already Salesforce people will create. When you buy this, or whatever business unit you buy, you will always, you will have certain things like you know, this administrator or this administrator, analyst, and content creator. There are certain pre-built roles, you'll get it. And also if you want, you can create more roles. If you wanted to, you can create it and you can give your own permission. For example, as you are a marketing cloud architect in your team, in that two people join your company. One person is a developer and one person is just a his job is to create any HTML templates. Other person's job is to deal with data. He wants to create and delete the data. So how do you do that? So you have to create two roles. Once you create a role and you give a permission, you create a role and you're going to assign the users to him. So how to assign the users, I'll let you know. So you create it and you assign the users. So that is how you're going to do it. So if you have 10 users, maybe you're working for a big company, like you have 100 people, so you cannot give access for each and every people. So you create a role and you assign that person to them and he gets an access. And also imagine that there would be one more person joins your company. So that person is a HTML developer as well as he's a data analyst. So there are two roles you can give for him. So at that point of time, what you can do is he wants access for two things. So then what you can do is you can assign two roles for a person, or also you can assign three roles for a person. So it's like that. You can assign any number of roles to a person. It's like that. And let me see how you can do that. So if you see here, there is some user section. So here if you see, there is a user. What I can do is, for example, this user, if I click this, I can disable this person if I don't want to, or maybe I can reset his password, or maybe I can assign him to the business unit. If I see here, so this person has access to what business unit does he has access. So for me, I am very much uh, you know restricted to this, so I can give either this access or this access. That's it, because I have only access to these two business units. And also if you see here, you can give him access for this business unit or this business unit, and what is the default business unit. So I can give two accesses, and if you click on this, that would be the default. If I click this one would be the default for him, but he has access for two things. And next thing is, after doing this, you can save it. And one more thing is, see here, you can edit it and you can give a, so you can see like when the person has last logged in, whether it's a API user. If you enable this, then only this person will be able to use this integration and all those stuff. So this user is enabled. If you don't want her to use this, you can just disable this user. You can go there and you can just click disable. So if you click okay, I don't have access to disable this user, so you can disable this user if you don't want it to. One second, maybe I can disable here if I wanted to. So here I can disable this user. Once I disable it, you would get an option here. And coming to roles, how to give a roles to this person. So if you see this person, if I click on this manage roles, so here, to which business unit he has access to, only this business unit is administrator. If I click here, I will get what are all the access he has it. So imagine that I gave him administration access, but still I don't want him to access this A to B testing. So how I can do is I can click edit permissions here. And again, if you wanted to do any more changes on top of the roles, so then I can do it. For example, here if I wanted to allow or deny, I can do it. So here what I can do is I don't want to give a administration access for him. So what I will do is I will go here. I can see he's already denied for this. See, is already denied, so nothing I can do. If I want to make him allow, so what I can do is I can just click this. If I click this and if I can save this, now this person will have access to the users also. So this is how it works. So that means as admin, all those which what are defined in the roles, you get it. Up on top of it, if you wanted to have more accesses, then you will be giving under a permission section. So that is how this works. Go here, go to manage roles, and also if I want to give more roles, you can give. So I can go click this what all I wanted to, I can give for him. One way I can give. On top of it, if I want to give additional permissions, then you edit permissions and you can give. So this is about roles and permissions of our users. So this is much about this information. So these things, maybe when you join a company, you might get it or you might not.